Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Zabron Ernest. I'm a teacher at Al-Muntazir Islamic Seminary, Girls Wing. This is just a quick tutorial on homework number 5, which is made to help my students, the Form 1s who are seated at home. Now they may have got stuck somewhere in some few questions on reading skills, and this will be the suitable assistance. So here we go. This is homework number 5, reading skills. It's coming from course book 7, exercise 4.3, pages 50 and 51. Now there is a concept, or there is a tip which you always have to remember, that when you read a skill, when you are reading a skill, you need to work out what each division represents. I repeat this sentence here. When you are reading a skill, when you read a skill, you need to work out each division on the scale represents. For example, we have question number 1. My students were supposed to write down the value shown on each of these scales. The value shown here is this arrow here. The students were supposed to read. This arrow is pointing to which value? Now, in order for you to read this arrow points to which value, you need to find each division. Each division represents how much? And when I say division, what do you think I mean? Divisions are these lines on the scale. These are what we call divisions. These lines you see on a scale, any scale must have divisions. So these lines you see here on the scale are what we call divisions. Now, in order to read this scale, we have to find each division will represent how much. How do we do that? Look, this arrow is between 48 and 49. So you're gonna do 49, which is this number here, minus the smaller number, which is 48. The answer you get, you divide by how many divisions are there between 48 and 49. How many lines are there between 48 and 49? So you count from 48. Since you are starting from this number, you count it as 0. And then the next line will be counted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, what does it mean? It means that from 48 to 49, there are 10 divisions. There are 10 lines. So 49 minus 48, go ahead dividing by 10. All right, so 49 minus 48, that is 1 divided by 10. So can you see that I'm getting a fraction? Now this fraction must be changed into a decimal. This will give you 0.1. You know what it means? It means that each division, each line stands for 0.1. So now, once we know that each line stands for 0.1, then I can read this arrow is pointing to which value. So here we go. This is 48. Since I know that each number or each line represents 0.1, so this will be 48. I add 0.1. This will be 48.1. This will be 48.2. This one will be 48.3. Keep going. This will be 48.4, 48.5, 48.6, 0.7, 0.8. Now the arrow is representing 48 point, let's check again, 0.5, 6, 7, 8. So you write here 48.8 centimeter. See that? Let me check if my reading is correct. 48.8.9. This becomes 49. So the arrow is pointing at 48.80 centimeter. Don't forget to write the units. Now, I hope you have understood in question 1A. So question 1B, I'll be going very fast because question number 1A was made to be an example. Now, I hope you have understood what does division mean. So I'll be using the concept, or I'll be using the terminology division throughout my discussion here. Okay, let me go to part B. Now, part B is, we are supposed to work out this arrow is pointing to how much number. So like as I said, this arrow is between, this arrow is between 70 and 80. So the arrow is between 70 and 80. So how do we do each division equals to how much? So you write here, each division will be equal to how much number? So you take this number, 80, minus the small number, which is 70. The answer you get, you divide by how many small lines are there, how many lines are there. So there we go, this is 70. So count it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from 70 to 80, there are 5 other lines, okay? So go ahead and subtracting here, 80 minus 70, this is 10, divided by 5, this equals to 2. So each small line there, each line here represents 2 millimeters. So each line here stands for 2 millimeters, okay? So now, once I know that each division represents how much, then I can go back and read this arrow is pointing to which value. So this is 70, each line equals to 2 millimeters. So this is 70, this will be 72, 74, 76, 78. So this arrow is pointing to 70. Let me check again. 70, 72, 74, 76, 78. So you write 78 millimeter. This is your answer. Right, so let us continue with question C. And this is a question here. Then we are good to go. Okay, so this is the question we have. This was B, and this is C. Okay. Now, how do we move on from here? Same thing. We have to calculate each division equals to how much. So you write here, each division meaning each line will be equal to how much. So I do this arrow here is between 4 and 5. So I take 5 minus 4, divide by, this 4 is marked as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So from 4 to 5, there are 4 lines. Okay, so 5 minus 4, that equals 1, divided by 4, this will be equal to 0.25. Okay, so I now know each line here is equal to 0.25. Okay, so let me try to check this arrow is pointing to how much. So this is 4, then this will be 4.25, this will be 4.5. Okay, so this arrow here is reading 4.5 meter. Now, if I keep going, this is 4.5, 4.75, this will be 5. So my reading is correct. All right, so you can pause the video, try the remaining other questions, but otherwise, let me proceed with part D. All right, so we have part D there. Is a question on the meniscus. We have to read the volume of this water present in this container. So this what you're supposed to do, there is no arrow, but what you're supposed to do is to read this meniscus, is to read that level. Now, as you can see clearly, this level is between 200 and 100. So go ahead calculating each division equals to how much. So this will be, each division will be equal to. Now, as you can see, this water level is between 200 and 100. So go ahead subtracting 200 minus 100. The answer you get, you must divide by how many lines are there from 100 to 200. So this 100 is counted as 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meaning from 100 to 200, there are 5 divisions. So divide by 5 here. So this will be 200 minus 100 is 100 divided by 5. 100 divided by 5, this is 20. Now, you know what it means? It means that each line from 100, each line here, each line from 100 will be representing 20. So this is 100 already. So this will be 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. So what is the water reading here? This water reading is 120. So go ahead writing 120 milliliters. This is your answer. See that? If you got it correct, you can put your tick, and then you're good to go for part E. Okay, part E is we have to read this red arrow, this one here. We have to take the reading of this red arrow. So how much is it representing? So this arrow here is between 10 and 20. So each division there will be equal to, each division here will be equal to, because this line is between 20 and 10, so go ahead subtracting 20 minus 10, the answer you get. From here, count how many lines are there. So starting from 10, count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 lines. So 20 minus 10 is 10 divided by 5. This is equal to 2. That means each line there represents 2 kilograms. Each line there represents 2 kilograms. So from here, this is 10, add 2, that's 12, add 2, that is 14, add 2, that is 16, add 2, that is 18, add 2, that is 20. So this reading here will be equal to 10, 12, 14, that will be 16 kilograms. Okay, so go ahead, checking your work. If you tried it correct, then put a tick. If you did it wrong, please do corrections. Okay. All right, part F is another meniscus here. We have to read the water level. So this water level is between 2 and 1. The water level is between 2 and 1. So what you're going to do, calculate each division. Each division equals how much? So there we go. This meniscus, or this water level, is between 2 and 1. So go ahead subtracting 2 minus 1. The answer you get divided by, from 1 to 2, how many lines are there? So the starting number is counted 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 lines. So divided by 4. This will be 2 minus 1 equals to 1. When you divide by 4, that is a fraction which you must change into a decimal. This will be 0.25. Now each line here represents 0.25 liter. So right here, each line is 0.25 liter. So go ahead reading this water level, because you already know each division or each line represents how much. So this, starting from here, this is 1, 1.25, 1.5, 1.75. So this water level is 1.75 liters. This is your answer. Go ahead checking your work. If your work is correct, just mark accordingly. If it is incorrect, then you try to do corrections. Right, there we go. We have question number 2. Anil says that this scale shows a mass of 6.2. Is Anil correct? Explain your answer. Okay, so there we go. This reading here is what Anil says that is 6.2. Now, is Anil correct? Explain your answer. So let us calculate each division equals to how much. So here we write each division will be equal to how much. When I say division, I mean the lines you see there are what we refer to as division. So there we go. Now here I have a number 6, but I don't have any other number there. So I can't use this interval from 6 to something which I don't know. So what I'm going to do is use this interval from 5 to 6 to calculate each division will mean how much. Okay, so each line will be equal to, use this interval from 5 to 6. So I'm going to take 6 minus 5. The answer I get, I have to divide how many lines are there between 5 and 6. So between 5 and 6, how many lines are there? This 5 is counted as 0. Go ahead, count 1, 2, 3, 4. So between 5 and 6, there are 4 lines there. Go ahead, subtracting, and then divide by 4. So 6 minus 5 is 1. Divided by 4, this will be 0.25. Okay, so now I come to know that each line there is 0.25. Okay, so since I know that each line is 6.25, then I can read this reading is how much. This reading is how much. Okay, so I can now read clearly because I know now each line is 0.25 kilogram. Okay, so there we go. This is 6. From 6, add 0.25. So this will be 6.25. Add here, this will be 6.5 kilogram. See that? So this is the correct answer. Now let us see what Anil is saying. Anil says that this scale shows a mass of 6.2. No, this is not correct. Is Anil correct? No, Anil is not correct. Is Anil correct? The answer is no. Explain your answer. How do we explain our answer? We say that each division reads 0.25 kilogram, and therefore the correct reading will be, the correct reading is 6.5 kilogram and not 6.2. Okay, so the answer is no. Is Anil correct? The answer is no. Explain your answer. Each division reads 0.25 kilogram, therefore the correct reading is 6.5 and not 6.2. Right? You can pause the video and try to check if your answers are correct. If the answers are correct, then try to compare your answers and my answers. If you find that your answers are matching exactly with my answers, then put the ticks accordingly. Right? So there we go. We have question number 3 here. Question number 3 is estimate. Oh, what does estimate mean? Estimate is to find a rough reading, just an approximate. So we are not talking about exact answers here. We'll be talking about approximate answers, the answers which are just approximate, rough answers, in other words, we say. Okay, so we don't have to be exactly correct. We'll be estimating the readings on each of these scales. So question number 3 is to estimate, and to estimate means to approximate. You see, you have to approximate. And when I say approximate, I mean just give a rough answer, just a rough answer. Okay, so rough answer. All right, so there we go. estimate the readings on each of these scales. We have A. What is the reading here? You have to estimate this reading here. Now, as you can see clearly, that this reading is between, this reading here is between this line and that line there. Okay, is exactly halfway between this line there and this line. So what you are supposed to do is to work out this line here reads, this line here reads how much, and this line here reads how much. So there we go. So go ahead calculating each division, each line equals how much? See that? Each division equals how much? So as you can see, this reading is between 50 and 60. So you take this number, 60, minus this number here, which is 50. The answer you get, you need to divide how many lines are there, how many lines are there between 50 and 60. How many lines are there? So this 50 is counted as 0. This line is counted 1. This line is counted 2. This line is counted 3. This line is counted 4. In other words, from 50 to 60, there are 4 lines. So you divide by 4. So 60 minus 50 is 10. 10 divided by 4. This you can simplify. We have to make a decimal. This will be somewhere around by 2. This is 5 by 2. This is 2. 5 divided by 2 as a decimal. This will be 2.5. Yeah, correct. So 2.5 times 4, you go back to 10. So 10 divided by 4 in decimal, that will be 2.5. Right, so 2.5. That means each line here reads 2.5. Okay, so there we go. This is 50. This is 50. Add 2.5. This will be 50.5. This will be 50. No. Let me check. 1 minute. 1 minute. We got that each line is 2.5. So that means from 50, add 2.5. This will be 52.5. 52.5 is here. 52.5. And this one here, when you add 52.5, you're gonna get 55. See that? 55. And when you add 2.5, you're gonna get 57.5. 57.5. So now the reading is exactly between 55 and 57.5. So here now you can start estimating that this answer will be somewhere around 56 centimeters, or you can write 56.5. You see? And remember, when the question comes of estimating, it's not like necessary that there should be only one single answer. Somebody writing 56, another one writing 56.5, perhaps another one writing 57, all those answers can be considered to be correct. Okay, so in the marking scheme, when it comes to the question of estimating, we don't only show one single answer. So in between 55 and 57.5, one can write 56, another one can write 56.5, another one can go ahead writing 57. All answers may be considered to be correct, because for estimations, we don't have one single answer. Instead, we have the interval, which we call the interval, or the possibilities, the possible answers. So we don't have exactly one single answer. So what did I answer over here? Somebody can go ahead writing 56 centimeters. Writing this will get correct. Somebody will write 56.5. Also, this will be correct. Somebody can go ahead writing 57, perhaps. I don't know. But also this can be considered to be a little bit correct, because this reading is halfway between 55 and 57.5. So these are possible answers, all right? If you still have a problem, you can see me in school, and then we just get more examples on how to estimate, all right? So there we go. We have this question here. And remember, we are estimating, we are trying to estimate the reading over here. So this will be, this is 4, and this is 5. So we need to know each division, each line from 4 to 5 reads how much. So that is what we are supposed to do. Each division will be equal to how much. So each division, meaning each line from 4 to 5 will be reading how much. So go ahead taking this number here, which is 5 minus this number there, because we want to know each line equals how much, okay? So this will be 5 minus 4, the answer you get. Now count the number of lines from 4 to 5. The first number is counted 0. This line is counted 1. This line is counted 2. So in short, from 4 to 5, there are 2 lines. So you divide by 2. 5 minus 4 will be 1. 1 divided by 2 is a fraction, which gives you 0.5, meaning that each line here is 0.5, right? So this is 4. This will be 4.5. Okay. Now this reading here is very close to 5, very close to 5, but this is 4.5. One can say this will be 4.6, 4.7. 1 minute. One can try to figure out like this, that this is, okay, this we got is 4.5. Now, if this is 4.5, but remember, this reading is very close to 5. It has not touched 5. It's very close to 5. So one can go ahead writing this reading as 4.8, for example, because this you can't say is 4.9. It's somewhere there, 4.8. Somebody can say 4.85, 4.85. You know, it's a little bit closer to 5. Okay, so one can say 4.8. That will be correct. 4.85. That will also be correct. What if you write 4.9? That also will have no problem if you write 4.9, because this is pretty close to 5. You see, pretty close to 5. So you can write 4.8, 4.85. Possibly, maximum possibly 4.9. What if somebody says 4.7? That I'm not sure, but I'm trying to check if this is 4.5. This will be 4.6, maybe 4.7 there, 4.8, maybe 4.9 closer there, and then you touch 5. Can you see that? All right, so this will be 4.8, 4.85, 4.9, but I prefer, I would have, if it was me answering this question, for example, in the exam, maybe I could have chosen to write 4.8. 4.8 was me, can be my best choice, 4.8. Also 4.85. 4.85 can be my best choice. But otherwise, whatever answer you write will be correct, but make sure you write a number which is very close to 5, okay? Very close to 5. I hope that is clear. So go ahead writing those answers, the answers which looks to be pretty close to 5, okay? So there we go. You see, we have a mileage here. It's reading kilometers, okay? So we need to estimate this reading. We need to estimate this reading here. But as I said, this reading is very close to 60. So one can say this is 50. One can say this is almost 59. That's almost 59 kilometers per hour, because it is pretty close to 60. So one can say 59 kilometers per hour. One can say 59.5 kilometers per hour, because it's just very close to 60. So this can be the possible answers. What if somebody says 50, 58? Anyway, let me check first. Let me check first each small line. I mean, each line from 50 to 60. Each line equals to how much? So I'm gonna go ahead calculating each division equals how much, because that is just estimation. So I don't have to worry, because all I'm doing here is just some kind of estimations, looking which number is closer to which number is very closer to 60. That's what I'm trying to estimate, okay? So let me check from 50 to 60, how many lines are there? So from 50, this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 lines. So I'm going to take 60 minus 50 divided by 3. This will be 10 divided by 3. This will be 3.3333 recurring. Can you see that? That means each line here is 3.3. So this is 50. This will be 53. This will be 56 point around 7. This is 50, 50 add 3.3, this will be 53.3, this will be 56.6. So that's why I say this will be somewhere around 59, somebody can say 58.5 kilometer per hour. You know, it's not necessary to be exact. No, we are trying to do estimations. So somebody writing 59, 59.5, 58.5, all answers can be considered correct. Okay, so estimations usually involve a range of several answers. Okay, like within that range, we choose like any student writing 59 or 58.5 or 59.5. All those students all those students who will lie within that range will be considered to be correct. Okay. Otherwise, let us try to push on here and save time as well. But we are still estimating. So here we are supposed to estimate this reading over here. We are supposed to estimate the reading. Now, this reading, as you can see, is just above 200. It's just above 200. Okay, but very far away from this reading, very far away from this reading. So it means this reading is like 200 plus 1 step above 200. Okay, so let me try to find each line, each division will be equal to how much. Okay, so quickly, each division will be equal to how much. So I'm gonna say this reading here is between 200 and 300. So go ahead subtracting 300 minus 200. The answer you get, you have to count from 200 to 300. How many lines are there? This 200 is counted as 0. This is 1. That is 2. So there are 2 lines between 200 and 300. So 300 minus 200, that will be 100. When you divide by 2, it means each line there will be 50 grams. Okay. Now, so we already know that each line equals to 50 grams. So go ahead estimating this will be equal to how much? Okay. So somebody can write if from here to here is 50. So this is 200. This is 250. And this is 300. So somebody can count this like this is 210, 220, 230, 240, 250. So this will be roughly 210 grams. Okay. So how about somebody writing 215? 215 will also be correct. 210, 215. I guess this 210 and 215, this will be my best choice. Okay. But if you still have a problem, you can see me. If you still have a doubt somewhere, you can see me, and then we do it together. But otherwise, this is what I feel like. This reads 210, 215. But 215 looks too high. What if somebody writes like 205? Okay, go ahead estimating and then see if you have got like some appropriate readings or appropriate estimations. But I can see from 200 to here, this is 250, and this reading is just above 200. So I feel like 210 will be best. Okay. I have some more questions there. Oh, okay. I'm almost done. Okay, so quickly we have E. E is just reading the water level in this container. So we need to estimate. Okay. So between this reading, this meniscus here is between 0 and 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to calculate each division equals how much? Okay, each division will represent how much. So I'm going to take 1 minus 0 because this meniscus or this reading, the water level is between 1 and 0. So I'm going to take 1 minus 0 and then divide by from 0 to 1. How many lines are there? So this is counted as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 lines. Okay, so 1 minus 0 is equal to 1 divided by 4. This 1 divided by 4 as a decimal will be 0.25. Okay, so that's all. Each line there is 0.25. So from here now, let us try to estimate that. But this reading is pretty close to 1. It's pretty close to 1. So someone can say, okay, this is 0. This will be 0.25. This will be 0.5. This will be 0.75. So somebody can write 0.8 liter, will get correct, or 0.85 will also get correct because this is 0. I mean, this is 0, sorry, this is 0. This is 0.25 each line. So this is 0, add 0.25. So this will be 0.5. This will be 0. This will be 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. This will be 0.8, somewhere there. What if somebody writes 0.9? Okay, this looks to be the same. Okay, 0.85 liter. But this looks very close to 1. Okay, somebody can go ahead writing 0.9. Also, that can be considered to be correct. So my possibilities will be 0.8, 0.85, 0.9. 3 possibilities which are closer to the answer. Okay, I hope that is clear. Let us go on with the last. Oh, this is something like thermometer. Okay, so we have 0 something. Okay, we have to read. We have to read this level of the temperature. Okay, how do we do that? This level is between 10 and 20. So you're going to take 20 minus 10. The answer you get divided by how many lines between how many lines between 10 and 20? So this 10 is counted as 0, 1, 2. So this is 1, 2. So from 10 to 20, I can see only 2 lines. Okay, 20 minus 10, that will be 10 divided by 2. That will be 5 degrees centigrade. So it means that each line here is 5 degrees centigrade. So from here, this is 10, add 5, this will be 15. Now this reading is just above 15, just above 15. Now from here to here is an interval of 5 degrees. So this will be, let me check. So 15, this will be 16, for example, 17, 18, 19, 20. So this reading may be 16 degrees centigrade. This sounds to me better. 16 degrees centigrade. How about somebody writing, well, this is 15 and that reading is just about 15. So somebody can point out 16 degrees centigrade. Yeah, that's all I can see. 16 degrees centigrade is the best reading. Okay. Right, so you can pause the video, try to take notes and do corrections where necessary. Otherwise, let me wind up my session. Let me try to wind up my sessions doing this question here. Mirai has 2 measuring jugs A and B. Okay, so we have measuring jug A, we have measuring jug B. She pours water into the measuring jugs to the levels shown. How much water does she need to add to measuring jug A so that there is the same amount of water in both jugs? Such easy question. So what are you going to do? We need to read this water level in jug A. We need to read. How do we read? I have done that. So in jug A, so let me start writing here, jug A, the reading in jug A. So each division, each line equals to how much? This reading in jug A is between 0 and 100. So I have to calculate each line here, each line here, each line here, between 0 and 100. Each line reads how much? So this is 0. So go ahead counting from 0 to 100. How many lines are there? So this 0 in counting, this is the first line, counted as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So between 0 and 100, there are 10 lines. So take 100 minus this number here, the answer you get, you divide by 10. So this will be 100 minus 0, this will be 100 divided by 10, that will be equal to 10. You know what it means? It means that each line there reads 10. Okay, so this is 0, this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So this reading here is 80 milliliters. Okay, so this is jug A. That is jug A. Okay, right. Now let me try to do jug B. Jug B is we have to read jug B. Okay, so the level in jug B is here. The water level is somewhere there. Now this water level is between 100 and 200. So go ahead taking 200 minus 100 divided by how many lines are there between 100 and 200? How many lines are there? So this is 100. This 100 is counted as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 lines between 100 and 200. Let me check again. This 100 is counted as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 lines between 100 and 200. So divided by 4. This 200 minus 100, this will be 100. Divided by 4, this will be 25. Okay, you know what it means? It means that this line, each line here stands for 25 milliliters. Now let us read the water level in jug B. So this is 100, 125, 150, 175. So this water level is 175. Okay. So jug B, the level of water in jug B is 175. Okay. Now let us go to answer the question. She pours water into the measuring jugs to the level shown. Okay. How much water does she need to add to measuring jug A? Jug A has less water, it's 80 milliliters, and jug B has 175 milliliters. Now, how much water does she need to add to measuring jug A so that there is the same amount of water in both jugs? So go ahead taking this reading here, 175 milliliters minus with 80 milliliters. What do you get? This is 5. This is 95 mils. See that? So she pours water into the measuring jugs to the level shown. How much water does she need to add? So she needs to add. She needs to add this difference here. She needs to add 95 mils to make the water level same amount. Okay, so she needs to add 95 mils. Let me correct myself. She needs to add 95 mils to make the water level same amount. Okay, so until next time, let us stop here for today. My name is Mr. Zebron Ernest, Al-Muntazili Islamic Seminary teacher, Girls Wing. Bye-bye for now. Stay safe. Bye.